Developing right now on Morning News Now, Mother Nature's wrath on full display this morning in two different ways. In the Caribbean, Hurricane Beryl carving a path of destruction as it barrels toward Mexico. While in California, crews are trying to contain wind-fueled wildfires that are forcing thousands to evacuate their homes. Meanwhile, across the country, tens of millions of people waking up to heat alerts on this 4th of July holiday. We have our team tracking it all, plus the very important fireworks forecast. Also this morning, President Biden doubling down on his bid for re-election, despite last week's shaky performance in the debate against Donald Trump.
It was not his best night. He understands that it is fair for people to ask that question. But we cannot forget his record and what he's been able to do.
This is calls grow from within the president's own party for him to step aside. We'll bring you the latest. Plus, checked out why more stores are dialing back on those self-checkout machines and hiring real-life human workers once again. And whether you're setting off fireworks or firing up that grill, we hope you're celebrating safely this Independence Day. We'll have some tips on how to avoid the dangers and to actually enjoy this holiday. Good morning. I'm Stephen Romo in for Joe and Savannah today. And we start this Thursday morning with the strongest July hurricane on record. Hurricane Beryl has killed several people across the Caribbean, and the Prime Minister in Grenada calling the aftermath there Armageddon-like. It was a Category 4 storm when it made landfall on the small island, wreaking havoc with powerful winds, flooding, storm surge. Even though Beryl didn't hit Jamaica head-on, parts of the island still suffered there. Catastrophic winds and heavy rains yesterday. Hundreds of people had to hunker down in shelters. And take a look at Flat Bridge. Before Beryl, one of the oldest bridges on the island that connects Kingston to its capital and to the northern coast, it was just completely underwater afterwards. The storm's path to the U.S. is still uncertain, but parts of southern Texas bracing for potential impacts over the weekend. Meanwhile, as Americans try to celebrate the nation's birthday today, 120 million people are under heat alerts across the South, Gulf Coast, and the West. Our team has the latest. Meteorologist Angie Lassman standing by with the forecast. But we start with NBC News correspondent Sam Brock, who is on the ground in Jamaica, where he and his team rode out that storm.
Hurricane Beryl spent more than 80 hours as a major hurricane, either Category 4 or Category 5, as it went on this multi-day rampage through the Caribbean. We're on Jamaica this morning. This is Victoria Pier. You can probably hear that rattling in the background. This is downtown Kingston. Look at this. That is the top of the roof here that is peeled off of this building. Now, obviously, we didn't experience hurricane force winds in Kingston. They kind of dodged a bullet in that respect, as Beryl was just a little bit too far south to bring those 80, 90, 100-mile-an-hour winds. But here it was still strong enough to do some damage. We are not aware at this point of any injuries, although the Prime Minister of Jamaica said across the country you're looking at about 1,000 people that ended up in shelters. And that was a process throughout the day because many folks just did not want to go. The mayor of Kingston posting on social media his efforts to convince people to get on buses to go from low-lying areas up to other parts of the country. Now, as far as if you move west, that's where it appears like there may be significant damage. Parishes like St. Elizabeth, Hanover's in the northwest corner of Jamaica. As this system swept through, it really lashed the western side of the country. So we're now waiting in the light of day to find out what the extent of the damage might be. Reuters is reporting that the death toll now stands at least 10. It was 7 last night. So there's a couple more deaths right now, it appears, from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and potentially one in Jamaica. That is not something NBC News has confirmed independently yet, but there's almost no doubt that with communication systems down, compromised over the course of the last 24 to 36 hours, we will be learning new information. So it remains a very realistic possibility that the number of fatalities will go up. But as far as just big picture right now, folks, at least in this part of Jamaica, breathing a bit of a sigh of relief, as this could have been absolutely treacherous should this system have trekked a little bit farther to the north. But here, at least, it did not. Sam Brock, NBC News.
Sam, thanks. Fascinating this is happening so early in the season. Let's bring in meteorologist Angie Glassman for more on where Beryl may be headed. Good morning, Angie.
Good morning. We got still a couple more days to deal with this system, Stephen. And notice we have seen some general weakening, but not enough, really. We're still dealing with some impacts to folks in the Cayman Islands today, but we've seen largely some major improvements for Jamaica. You heard all of what Sam just gave as far as the details of what they've been enduring over the past 24 hours. And it's only going to start to improve even more as the day goes on. But it's the Cayman Islands that we're closely watching today, and then parts of Mexico in the days ahead. Right now, still a Category 3. We're talking 120-mile-per-hour winds. We've got that northwest movement just a touch slower from this most recent update, now moving at 20 miles per hour forward speed. But notice the alerts that are still up. We still, of course, have the hurricane warnings in effect for the Cayman Islands, but we also have a hurricane warning in effect across parts of the Yucatan Peninsula, along with those tropical storm watches, warnings, and a hurricane watch as well. That's the next area that we're going to watch for potential landfall of this system. Of course, no landfall in Jamaica, but still they were dealing with those impacts of some impressive storm surge. That has now receded, and it looks like the Cayman Islands are going to be watching for some strong winds, the potential for likely some minimal storm surge and some additional rainfall up to 4 inches over the next couple of hours. We'll start to see that happening here pretty quickly, and then things will start to improve as Beryl continues to pull away. Now, notice the timing for when it makes landfall in the Yucatan Peninsula. This area, pretty typical to see Category 1, Category 2 hurricanes making landfall, so they'll likely be prepared for it. But we know what a touristy region that is of Mexico, so we'll be watching this. As it moves across that peninsula, though, we're likely going to see, of course, some weakening. This always happens when we have land interaction. We don't have the fuel to keep the system quite as together as it since has been. But then it enters the Gulf of Mexico as we get into the weekend. And notice we do see a little bit of intensification, likely talking maybe a strong tropical storm, a weak Category 1 hurricane by the time we get into late weekend, early next week. And that's when we'll be watching closely for folks in Mexico and Texas, right along that border, to see potential impacts and likely the last landfall of Beryl, Stephen.
I know a lot of people in Texas nervous about that one right now. Angie, thanks. Well, it's not just the tropics. The dangerous heat baking parts of the U.S. is fueling wildfires out west. According to the National Interagency Fire Center, right now, there are 55 active fires burning across 9 different states, and only 2 of those have been contained. NBC News correspondent Liz Croyds has more from California, where hundreds of people were forced to evacuate their homes.
A massive wildfire in Northern California burning out of control amid triple-digit temperatures. The Thompson fire spreading across more than 3,500 acres with zero containment. As tens of thousands scramble to safety ahead of the July 4th holiday, forced to evacuate with the fire bearing down on residential neighborhoods outside the city of Oroville.
I'm a little bit worried that, we might not have a place to go back to.
Several homes and structures destroyed as firefighters work round the clock to battle the fast-moving blaze. Flames burning on either side of the Oroville Dam spillway.
Crews are using Lake Oroville here to try to fight this fire. You can see multiple helicopters right now are coming to the lake, picking up water to attack this fire from the air.
The Inferno, one of several burning across the west with intense heat and heavy winds creating conditions ripe for fire. What's the biggest challenge right now?
I would say the biggest challenge is obviously the conditions, the high temperatures, those low humidities, and without a doubt the wind is going to be the biggest concern.
In Phoenix, where temperatures hit 113, the heat wave turning deadly. A 10-year-old boy died after being airlifted from a trail where authorities say he was hiking with family. So far this year, 13 people have died from heat-related incidents in Maricopa County, with another 162 still under investigation. Back in California, the relentless conditions just getting started, with no relief expected through the holiday weekend, leaving the region on edge.
And our thanks to Liz Croyds for that report, especially important reminders as we have fireworks and grills today celebrating the 4th. And if you are thinking about hitting the road or taking to the skies for some last-minute holiday plans, you are not alone. That's why we wanted to bring in a friend of the show, Katie Nastro. She's a travel expert at going.com. Katie, happy 4th. Thank you so much for being here. AAA projecting that this is going to be the busiest 4th of July holiday period ever. Why are so many people hitting the road this year?
Yeah, look, despite how other areas of the economy are doing, travel is really strong and healthy. People are not looking to skimp out on experience spending. According to our Going State of Travel, over 56% of people said they're looking to spend more this year compared to last year. So this is really, again, an area where people are looking to put their dollars.
Yeah, absolutely. I know a lot of people are traveling. So many of them are hitting the road instead of the sky. So for those people, procrastinators going last minute, what can drivers expect when they actually get on the road today?
Yeah, look, AAA is predicting that more people are going to hit the road this year than years past. So those of us who are hitting the road can expect some traffic, especially around those optimum times when people are looking to get out there. But those of us who are filling up will find that gas prices are actually down a little bit from years past. So that's some good news for those of us who are hitting road trips this year.
Yeah, certainly love the sound of that. And speaking of the skies, TSA projecting that about 2.7 million people passed through their checkpoints just yesterday. And all of those people, of course, are going to have to get home, or most of them. Maybe some are escaping forever. But for the ones that do have to get home, what tips can they have to avoid spending their post-holiday crunch waiting around at airports?
Yeah, Stephen, look, we are expecting this weekend we might see the single busiest day in travel on record. Upwards of 3 million people looking to come back in a single day we have the potential to see. And so if you are traveling, just remember a couple things. You want to monitor your flight for any changes in case they happen. You want to also have an alternate plan of a flight in mind in case something does happen and you need to make those changes. It's much easier to deal with a gate agent or a customer service agent if you already have something in mind, as well as if you can try not to check a bag. You're not only going to be avoiding another long line to wait in when you check that bag in, but you're also going to be avoiding those pesky bag fees that have gone up in recent months.
And Katie, with the 4th falling in the middle of the week, when do we expect it to be the busiest for those people trying to return, both in the skies and on the road?
Yeah, look, Sunday is likely to be that target day. And, just a couple of weeks ago, we saw the single busiest day on record. June 23rd actually surpassed that previous record from Memorial Day. And so that was a nondescript Sunday in June. And so now looking forward to the holiday, we're expecting to see similar reactions to all those people coming back. And so if you can avoid this coming Sunday, you're likely to see less people in airport, less people on the road.
Yeah, just go ahead and take that Monday, too. Why not? Make it a little easier for yourself. All right, Katie and Astro, thanks so much. Great advice there.
Thanks so much.
And speaking of the holiday, let's bring back meteorologist Angie Lassman for a check of that 4th of July forecast. Hopefully we'll be able to see those fireworks clearly, Angie.
Stephen, do I get Monday off too?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, I'll email our bosses right now. Here's the deal. We've got a lot going on weather-wise. Right. This always happens on a holiday weekend, a holiday week, and that's exactly how things are shaping up over the next couple of days. It's not just a one-day kind of thing that we're dealing with. For example, this really oppressive heat. We've got a good chunk of the country that's going to see incredible temperatures and high humidity in some spots. So 130 million people, no surprise, under these heat alerts. It's mainly parts of the West and parts of the Southeast down to the Gulf Coast. Those are the two areas that we're going to be watching closely for the extended period. So let's start with kind of what's going on. We've got high heat and high humidity. All that tropical moisture from the south is being ushered in, so we've got plenty of moisture to tap into in the air, and that means that while we have really high really high actual temperatures in places like Dallas and San Antonio over 100, our feels like temperatures are even higher than that. Look at Memphis today. Later this afternoon, it will feel like 113 degrees in Memphis, 109 in Baton Rouge. Out west, of course, it's not the humidity, but it's those actual temperatures. In some spots, we're running 10, 15, even close to 20 degrees above normal. And we likely could see some records threatened over a multitude of days, especially as we get into early next week. Places like Las Vegas could reach an all-time high temperature record. We'll wait and see how that exactly shapes up, but either way, it's going to be dangerous heat for folks out there, with Fresno expected to hit 110 tomorrow. Phoenix, if you have any plans tomorrow, 116 degrees during peak heating, and even up and down parts of the East Coast and down through the Southeast, we've got 90s for a lot of folks. Atlanta, 94, San Antonio expected to hit 100 degrees. And as I mentioned, it doesn't just wrap up with a couple of days. We've got this sticking with us at least through the weekend. weekend into early next week. Birmingham expected to hit 95 on Sunday. We've got Savannah well into the mid-90s. We've got Nashville peaking at 94 on Monday as we get back to work. So a lot of time finding a cool spot, maybe a little shade, a little extra water, making sure that you're watching for the kiddos, and not leaving anyone in those hot cars over for an extended period of time. That is going to be a big concern this holiday weekend with lots going on. Speaking of the holiday, what about the forecast otherwise, besides the temperatures? Well, unfortunately, we've got some thunderstorms that have a potential to erupt here as we get through the day today, specifically across the Midwest, but we've got some of that happening across the Northeast, too, especially into the afternoon hours. And those are the main spots that we're going to be watching for unsettled conditions. I know it's hot out west, but you guys are dealing with really nice sky conditions. We've got plenty of sunshine in Las Vegas. We've got nice sky conditions in Phoenix, Los Angeles, even down through parts of the Southeast. A couple of spots like Houston, you'll see plenty of sunshine, but we do have some of these showers that we'll have to track specifically across parts of Florida, like Miami. You could see some of those afternoon thunderstorms. The fireworks forecast, though, looks pretty good if you're really west of the Rockies. That's where we'll see lots of clear skies. Temperatures will be on the warm side, as I mentioned, but plenty of dry time for those fireworks to go off without a hitch. Now, you'll notice Washington, D.C., New York, we do have rain in the forecast. This is going to be kind of a game time decision in some of these spots where we're watching these showers working through, maybe a few thunderstorms, and we're going to have to see exactly how the timing plays out. The ingredients are all there, Stephen. Unfortunately, if you're going to be watching Macy's 4th of July fireworks on NBC, temperatures in the 80s, but again, there's that chance for thunderstorms, so fingers crossed.
All right, crossing those fingers now. Angie, thanks so much.
Right.
Well, to politics now. President Biden saying he's not backing down in the election race despite mounting pressure to quit the campaign following that shaky debate performance last week. The president met with Democratic governors at the White House yesterday in an attempt to reassure them that he was still the right person for the job. NBC News senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez joins us now from Washington with more. So, Gabe, walk us through what actually came out of that meeting with the governors.
Hey there, Stephen. Good morning. Well, some of those Democratic governors have actually been floated as possible replacements if President Biden were to step out of the race. But we're told that none of them asked him to step aside. Democrats instead are trying to show a united front.
We were honest about the feedback that we were getting. We were honest about the concerns that we were hearing from people. And we were also honest about the fact that as the president continued to tell us and show us that he was all in, that we said that we would stand with him.
I'm here to tell you today, President Joe Biden is in it to win it. And all of us said we pledged our support to him because the stakes could not be higher. We feel very confident in his abilities.
And the Biden campaign feels that the governors that are out there right now are, part of the way that the campaign is really trying to show that united Democratic front. They're also trying to get the president out there more on the campaign trail. He travels to Battleground, Wisconsin tomorrow.
Again, we're getting some mixed messages from Democrats overall and the White House. Publicly, it seems like the president vowing to fight on, but NBC News understands that privately he's telling people he's feeling a bit torn about all this. What are we learning there?
Yeah, that's right, Stephen. Publicly, President Biden is not backing down, but he's telling his staff, let me say this as clearly as I possibly can, as simply and straightforward as I can. I am running. But NBC News has learned, as you mentioned, that privately the president is torn. In some discussions, he's acknowledged that the debate aftermath may grow too large to overcome, while in others, he's been completely dismissive of the idea of dropping out of the campaign. That's according to 4 people familiar with the matter. The president weighing his instinct and the advice of his family to stay in against calls to step out. He can see that there is potentially no real path, a source told NBC, but he's being pushed. Again, publicly, Stephen, the White House is staying the course, though.
Certainly something we'll stay tuned on. Also, keeping a watch on the polling since the debate. We know that there was this latest New York Times Siena College poll showing the president trailing former President Trump. What do they make of the polling? How much pressure is this adding?
Yeah, that's right, Stephen. New York Times Siena College poll done after the debate shows that President Biden actually now trails former President Trump by 6 points among likely voters, though that is still within the margin of error. There's also another Wall Street Journal poll that was out yesterday showing the president trailing former President Trump. But look, the Biden campaign really is trying to make the point that its internal polling shows an extremely tight race. And yesterday, the campaign sent an email to staffers telling them to brace for these polls polls over the next coming days, but to keep at it, and essentially that the president is still staying in at this point. We'll be watching, though, and congressional Democrats will be watching over the next couple days as the president heads not only to Wisconsin, but also to battleground Pennsylvania as well. And tomorrow he is sitting down for his first lengthy TV interview since the debate. Stephen?
Wow, did not expect this is where we would be in July of 2024. Gabe Gutierrez, thanks so much. All right, much more to come on Morning News Now. Later this hour, a summertime warning on this July 4th holiday. Drowning deaths are on the rise. Now, experts are sharing tips on how to keep your family safe. We have what you need to know before diving in. Up first, after the break, a consequential election underway in the UK. We'll take you across the pond where 14 years of conservative rule could soon be coming to an end. This is Morning News Now. Welcome back. People in the UK are voting today in a general election that could see the Conservative Party's 14-year reign come to an end. Multiple polls suggest the Conservatives could face a wipeout with the opposition Labour Party on course for a potential landslide win. NBC News international correspondent Raf Sanchez joins us now from London with more on this. Good morning, Raf.
Stephen, good morning. The polls have been open here for about 5 hours on this unusually sunny election day in London. We won't get exit polls until around 5 p.m. But from the voters we are speaking to, every indication is that this is a change election and that the British public is planning to vote for a new government and a new prime minister.
Thank you.
This morning, after a lightning-fast 6-week campaign, voting is underway across Britain. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, whose Conservative Party has been in power for 14 years, asking voters for another chance.
Your vote will make a difference. Lots of people want to say this is a foregone conclusion. Analysis shows that's not true.
But with prices high, economic growth low, and 4 Conservative prime ministers in a row forced to resign since the 2016 Brexit referendum that saw the UK crash out of the European Union, many voters here are in an unforgiving mood.
They want to see the Conservatives maybe get what they deserve after behaving so badly.
Polls suggest the Conservatives are facing a wipeout. And the centre-left Labour Party heading for a potentially historic landslide victory. Labour's Keir Starmer poised to become Britain's next prime minister and the leader of America's closest ally.
We've now had 14 years of chaos, of division and failure. And the choice tomorrow is to bring that to an end, to turn the page and start to rebuild with Labour.
A former prosecutor, Starmer is a political centrist whose policies and politics align with President Biden's. But next year, he may be dealing with a second-term Donald Trump, who's threatened to pull the U.S. out of NATO and cut support for Ukraine. Does Keir Starmer have what it takes to stand up to Donald Trump on the world stage?
I think Keir Starmer will stand up for what he believes in. When it comes to foreign policy, our support for NATO is the cornerstone of that.
We headed to the West London constituency of Kensington and Bayswater, home to one of the country's closest races. The Conservatives won the last election here by just 150 votes. Now, Labour candidate Joe Powell is hoping to flip the seat.
We think this is going to be very close. Whatever the national polls show, this is not a traditional Labour seat.
Do you think people are excited about voting for Labour, or they just want to punish the Conservatives at this point?
Well, I think a lot of people are very excited about voting for Labour because they're desperate for change in the country.
Some of those looking for change are turning to the populist right and the anti-immigration Reform Party led by a British ally of Donald Trump. Polls suggest Reform winning nearly a fifth of the vote, though the UK's election system means it's unlikely to win many seats in Parliament.
Now, unlike the U.S., here in the UK, there's no transition period between an election and a new government taking office. So, assuming the Labour Party wins tonight, Keir Starmer will give his victory speech. He'll sleep for a couple of hours. He will head to Buckingham Palace just down the road to see the King, and then he will immediately take office as the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Stephen?
Wow, a lot to be watching for that. Raf, thank you. And more international news now. More tension in the Middle East after Israeli forces killed a top Hezbollah commander in southern Lebanon. Josh Letterman joins us now from London with more on that. Good morning, Josh.
Hey, Stephen, good morning. The IDF says that Hezbollah commander was responsible for Hezbollah's anti-tank and rocket activities within southern Lebanon heading into Israel. And Hezbollah says that they retaliated by launching about 100 Katyusha rockets into Israel, though Israel says many of those were shot down and that they caused no injuries. This latest violence, though, is really worsening fears about a full-on war between Israel and Hezbollah that the U.S. and these other nations have been desperately trying to avoid. Now let's head over to Italy, where 2 Americans convicted of killing an Italian police officer just had their sentences reduced. The pair had been given life sentences in 2021 for stabbing to death a police officer who was an alleged botched drug deal, but they claimed self-defense, saying they didn't know that he was a police officer at the time. An Italian appeals court cut their sentences down to about 15 years for one of the Americans and about 11 years for the other. And finally, to the upcoming Olympic Games in Paris, which is getting some new star power set to thrill K-pop fans around the world. BTS superstar Jin is set to be a torchbearer for the Olympics just after finishing his mandatory South Korean military service just last month. The 31-year-old says he hopes to use his Olympic role to spread a message of harmony and peace. A whole lot of BTS fans out there very happy he's out of the military. Stephen?
Certainly, and there's going to be a lot more eyes on the Olympics, probably for that reason alone. Our Josh Letterman, thanks so much. Well, coming up this morning, preventing tragedy. When we come back, the new effort by several states to keep guns out of kids' hands. And fireworks, a tradition for so many on the 4th of July. But before you ignite the light and let it shine, we want to make sure you're doing it safely. We'll get some tips next on Morning News Now. Welcome back. Nearly every day in the U.S., children accidentally injure or kill someone with a gun. Now, some states are trying to pass laws to keep guns out of children's hands. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa spoke with one family touched by just this type of tragedy.
Getting Sky McBride to pick a favorite stuffed animal is a tough task. She's a bubbly 3-year-old with no memory of the moment her life changed. But her maternal aunt and grandmother wish they could forget the day a relative knocked on the door saying something happened to Sky at her dad's house in Flint, Michigan.
He says Sky has been shot in the head, and I just lost my mind. I was just screaming. I was jumping up and down. I was screaming.
Sky was at the hospital in a coma.
I thought I was stuck in a nightmare.
Investigators said she'd gotten a hold of her father's revolver, left loaded and unlocked on a bed, and shot herself in the face.
He said he forgot. He was so excited to see her. You don't forget about something like that. You don't.
Like, that sounds absurd.
Yeah, it is.
Sky's tragedy doubling as a legal landmark. Her father, Michael Tolbert, is the first person charged under Michigan's safe storage law, requiring owners keep their guns unloaded and locked or stored in a locked box if they believe a child is likely to be present. The maximum penalty for failing and allowing a child to shoot themselves or someone else, 15 years in prison. Genesee County prosecutor David Layton lobbied for the law.
I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in gun ownership, but you have to be responsible.
There were more than 400 unintentional shootings by children last year. 26 states, including Michigan, now have similar laws.
If grown-ups aren't going to be responsible gun owners and lock those guns away, then government has to step in.
Some gun rights activists argue safe storage laws violate the Second Amendment, pointing to a Supreme Court decision that established the right for people to keep guns for protection in their homes.
We certainly strongly advocate and encourage that people act in a responsible manner. But the Supreme Court has said that laws that mandate firearms be locked in, and so therefore not accessible to a person to use for self-protection, violates the Second Amendment.
So you doing your stickers?
Yeah. As for Sky, she lost her right eye.
This
the baby, Mama.
That's the baby?
But her family says she has no apparent brain damage and is mastering walking. Her father has pleaded not guilty and hasn't responded to NBC News' interview requests. Meanwhile, since Sky's shooting, Michigan's seen at least 2 other safe storage cases, including in May when investigators say a 2-year-old boy shot himself. This time, it was fatal. David Layton has charged the boy's father and 2 other relatives.
This is preventable.
Safety first.
Yeah, it's preventable. Lock your gun up. You're the adult. Put it away.
Maggie Vespa, NBC News, Flint, Michigan.
And our thanks to Maggie for that. Meanwhile, today, people all across the country are celebrating the 4th of July with family and friends. And throughout the day, folks will be doing everything from relaxing by the pool to watching those fireworks. But it's not all fun when things go wrong, which they sometimes do. This is a holiday where a lot of people actually end up in the ER. As a matter of fact, data from the Pew Research Center shows on average emergency rooms treat more than 45,000 people between July 4th and July 5th. Joining us now for more on how we can celebrate safely this 4th of July is emergency medicine physician Dr. Samson Davis. Dr. Davis, good morning. Thanks for being here. So last year, 9,700 people ended up being treated in ERs because of fireworks injuries alone. So what are some ways people can stay safe?
Yeah, good morning. I'm afraid that we're going to see that same number again this year, unfortunately, but fireworks safety is of utmost importance. The first thing you want to do is handle one firework at a time. Do not light multiple fireworks at the same time. Make sure you keep children away. Make sure you're not impaired. Make sure when you're handling fireworks, you're doing away from anything that's flammable. So away from the home, obviously, away from any bush or bushes or leaves that could catch fire, and most importantly, make sure you're not impaired. And at the very last is leave it to the professionals to handle for utmost safety.
Good advice there, especially alcohol and fireworks just don't mix very well. Also, yeah. Dr. Davis, we've recently reported on some stats from the CDC that show drowning deaths have been on the rise across the U.S., really. So what are some water safety tips people should be following today, whether they're hitting the beach or just heading to a pool?
Yeah, today is a great day to be in the water and to sort of stay cool during this heat. So you want to make sure you swim together, go in groups, make sure your lifeguard is close by. Parents, especially when it comes to our children, drownings happen within seconds. So keep an eye. A lifeguard do not replace a parent or an adult supervising the child. Make sure you watch the weather report. Obviously, in the ocean, there's rip currents, and that can pull you in. So you want to make sure you understand rip current safety and guidelines. Do not swim in unsupervised areas. Sometimes it's tempting, especially for our teenagers. They see the temptation there. They may want to jump in, but unsupervised areas is important to stay away from. And again, it's the holiday. We're celebrating. Adults do not swim impaired. It's very important. Drownings happens that way, but drownings are very common across the country and occur every day. So you want to make sure you practice safety measures.
Yeah, very good advice there. And Dr. Davis, it's hard to imagine the 4th of July without that good backyard barbecue. But grills, they can also pose a bit of a danger. How can we stay safe using those?
Yeah, Stephen, I'm looking forward to lighting my grill today. I think obviously there's propane gas grills and there's charcoal wood grills. For the gas grills, you want to make sure for both grills, you want to keep away from the home. For the propane grill, you never want to ignite the grill with the lid closed. And make sure if you go to light the grill, it doesn't catch. Initially, you just want the gas to dissipate. Give it a few minutes before relighting it or trying to restart it again. Make sure you keep a bucket of water or fire extinguisher close by hand just in case flames occur that's uncontrollable. Keep children away from the grills while you're handling the grills. When it comes to charcoal grills, you want to use your lighter fluid to ignite the grill, but after it starts, you don't want to continuously use that lighter fluid because it can cause flames and burns to occur as well. And again, you want to handle these grills, making sure you're not impaired. Keep children away, as mentioned. And when it comes to the charcoal grills, I've had people come into the emergency department because once the grill is done, they dispose of charcoal in inflammable objects like boxes or bags, put it in a garage or put it wherever they keep the garbage and causes a fire. So you want to make sure you dispose of your charcoal appropriately and away from anything that's flammable.
Wow, that's a lot of important information. And I sensed a theme there, making sure you're not impaired, because it is a holiday. A lot of people are going to be celebrating that way as well. Great advice there. Dr. Samson Davis, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
And speaking of fireworks, tonight, the sky over the National Mall in Washington, D.C. will be just filled with them. Mark Seagraves from our D.C. affiliate, WRC, got a behind-the-scenes tour with the man who's been in charge of that show for the past 10 years.
Let's take a look at this module. We know we're all wired up here.
At 9:09 Thursday night, Chris Santori will hit the button that starts the National Fireworks display. It will be the 11th year in a row he's had that honor.
I can tell you that standing on the edge of the reflecting pool on July 4th with the Washington Monument in the background, it's just, your hair stands up. It's just such an epic moment.
Santori promises a bigger and more colorful display this year. As for the threat of rain.
As far as rain, we're not concerned. We're currently covered in plastic. We can fire right through the plastic. It doesn't inhibit the production in any way. So we're just making sure that we find an opportunity where we're not in a thunderstorm, where everyone can safely enjoy the display.
Santori's family business, Garden State Fireworks, has been creating commercial fireworks displays for 130 years. Designing and putting together a display as high profile as the national display is a year-round job. But once the mortars start firing, he's enjoying the show just like the rest of us.
It's very difficult to contain that excitement. There is definitely a moment where we're just like the crowd. We're as excited. We're cheering, we're jumping up and down, we're high-fiving, we're hugging. Maybe a few tears if I'm honest. It's definitely it's an epic moment, and it never gets old, and that's what keeps bringing us back to try and elevate it and make it more exciting every time.
While Santori is the 4th generation of his family to be in the fireworks business, the 5th generation isn't far behind. His 20-year-old daughter, Madison, is learning the family business for when it's her turn to hit the switch.
I'm thinking we might discuss that this year. What do you think?
Okay.
It's definitely a lot of pressure, but she's actually been at the firing panel. She was at the firing panel last night on a display in Vienna, Virginia, and she did an excellent job. Makes Dad and Grandpa proud that she's willing to take the torch when we pass it.
And our thanks to Mark Seagraves for that report. A spokesperson for the National Park Service says the cost of the fireworks display is about $278,000. Wow. Well, the heat is on, and this summer, many Americans stopping to celebrate the 4th of July, of course. The American Heart Association is also sending out a reminder that scorching temperatures can add stress to your heart. NBC News correspondent Alice Barr spoke to one father who's urging people to be prepared after nearly using his young daughter to sudden cardiac arrest.
This 4th of July week, when the sun is out and the grill is going, a reminder to heed your heart, because as temperatures rise, so does the risk of cardiac events.
You tend to get dehydrated, and there are other factors that are related to heat that put more stress on the body.
Past president of the American Heart Association, Dr. Gordon Tomaselli, pointing to new research that heat-related cardiovascular deaths may more than double in the coming decades with the effects of climate change.
More extremes of temperature, but also the population's aging. So the number of people at risk is increasing.
Those with pre-existing conditions have the greatest risk, but everyone should be alert and be prepared.
After you're 30, look up, take a breather.
That's especially true in schools, and the summer break offers a chance to gear up for a rare but devastating event.
When Olivia was 6 years old, she survived a cardiac arrest.
Suffering an undiagnosed genetic condition, Joe Quigley's young daughter collapsed in her school gym class.
The school had an emergency medical plan in place, so they knew what to do. They knew how to perform CPR.
But that is not always the case, so Joe teamed up with the American Heart Association to press Congress to pass legislation mandating AEDs and cardiac response plans in every school.
Schools that have AEDs, cardiac arrest survival goes up to about 70%, which is dramatic.
A precious chance at survival.
My daughter's fabulous now. She's 22 years old, a junior in college, and she's living her life.
While her family lives out a mission to arm and educate others about the issue closest to their hearts. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, coming up, transaction canceled. Some stores dialing back on those self-checkout machines and opting to go back to human employees. When we come back, more on the reversal that could signal a bigger shift away from tech. Plus, a big boom in Music City. Why more people are moving to Nashville and why some worry that's causing it to lose its charm. This is Morning News Now. Welcome back. So by now, you might have a love-hate relationship with these things, those self-checkout machines. Sometimes your produce scans, sometimes it doesn't. But despite those personal feelings, they've been retail mainstays for years now. But that could be changing. NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung has more on why several companies are now checking out on self-checkouts and bringing back that human touch.
Do it yourself. That's the idea behind self-checkout lanes. A way to skip the pleasantries and skate out of the store quickly.
Super fast, easy, convenient.
But more and more stores are now hitting cancel on those self-checkout machines.
Item canceled.
Dollar General says it has pulled self-checkout from about 12,000 stores, and Five Below hoping to eliminate self-checkout options in its highest risk locations. Both companies saying theft is the main reason, as 15% of users confess to purposely stealing at the self-checkout lane.
Entering in a cheaper type of produce when they're scanning their groceries, or just pretending to scan something and just bagging it anyway. It's one area where retailers are noticing too much that.
Then there's the user experience.
For shoppers, self-checkout is supposed to offer the convenience of just scanning and then going. But sometimes it ends up being more trouble than it's worth.
Please wait for assistance.
Definitely where I have to wait for someone to come in and fix it, and it's just a waste of time.
The solution, bringing sales associates back.
Is more profitable for the retailer to pay employees to manage checkout than it is to support the machines where they're probably getting less than accurate checkouts from consumers.
Self-checkout isn't going away, though. It's on the rise at grocery stores, making up 44% of transactions last year.
If your store decided to take out all the self-checkout lanes and put in regular lanes,
I'd be really disappointed.
A battle of humans versus machines playing out in the checkout line. Brian Chung, NBC News, New York.
Well, the cost of living is hitting one hotspot particularly hard. Nashville, America's music capital, is more popular than ever, with the population almost doubling in the last 2 decades. The growing fear, though, is that this boomtown is pushing locals out in place of wealthier newcomers. And some say Music City is losing its charm as it capitalizes on tourism. NBC News correspondent Kathy Park has more on that.
Nashville built its foundation on music. But these days, it's becoming harder and harder for many musicians to live there, as Music City has transformed into one of the nation's fastest growing boom towns, with a record 16.8 million visitors last year, adding nearly 90 people a day to its population. And it's not just people. Amazon, AllianceBernstein, and soon Oracle will be calling Nashville home.
18 years ago, we had more people than we had jobs. Now we have more jobs than we have people.
Experts say companies are drawn to Tennessee's business-friendly environment, relocating from expensive and dense locations. Another perk? No state income tax for workers.
And if it wasn't for the city, we wouldn't be as successful as we are.
Brian Fuente, a singer turned entrepreneur, launched AeroBuild, a company that builds mobile businesses.
A lot of craftsmanship that goes in each one.
30% of their workforce is made up of musicians.
The production team only works 4-day work weeks, so on the weekends they're playing music.
It's a model that helps strike a balance for employees like Dustin Bothwell, a singer who struggles to keep up with the high cost of living.
Houses are bought and you get an eviction notice. You know, it's harder to live here as an artist than it used to be, I feel like. I've only been here 6 years.
According to a recent Redfin analysis and the latest home prices, a family needed to earn roughly $129,000 a year to afford the median price home worth $478,000.
It has become unaffordable.
Jalen Raymer is feeling the crunch too after moving her cowboy hats and boots business from New York City to Nashville in 2020.
You want to try it all for me?
But corporate events and tourists have helped her small shop thrive.
They're ready to go downtown and giddy up and have a great old time down in Nash Vegas.
Some say the heartbeat of Nashville is right here in the Broadway district, seeing even more growth with the popularity of country music.
Jolene, Jolene.
It's good to see the redevelopment, but it's a little hectic.
A city soaring to new heights, but on the way up, feeling the growing pains.
A few of my favorite spots have had to disappear because of the growth. I kind of miss the charm.
Do you think city planners underestimated Nashville's growth?
I think it would be a rare person that told you they expected the growth to be like this.
Fascinating stuff. Kathy Park, thanks. And Nashville will be busy today. The city hosts one of the largest 4th of July fireworks shows in the country, with more than 200,000 spectators expected to attend. Last year, that event generated $11.6 million in visitor spending alone. Well, coming up this morning, a crash course in music decomposition. After the break, the campus art installation that has Mother Nature breathing new life into a piano well past its prime. That's next on Morning News Now. We're back now with a sticky situation down in Florida. A fish and wildlife trapper made a huge catch. You could call it the catch of a lifetime. Reporter Ryan Arbogast from our NBC affiliate in Fort Myers has the details.
You gotta let her work. As my Brazilian jiu-jitsu friends say, gotta let him work.
You are deep in the Florida Everglades in the dead of night, looking through an iPhone lens as a 17-foot, 1-inch Burmese python fights for its life.
You see how I'm switching hands?
Mm-hmm.
That way I don't tire myself out, letting the snake get tired.
The man giving the apex predator its first taste of what it's like to be prey is Matthew Kogo, a Florida fish and wildlife python trapper that just snagged the invasive snake over the weekend. He caught it in the Francis S. Taylor Wildlife Management Area west of Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, this is a good girl.
Experts we spoke with tell us the weather during hurricane season has a massive impact on the amount of Burmese python sightings we see here in portions of the Florida Everglades. Between constant humidity, heavy rainfall, and the summer heat, these apex predators are going to be on the move.
So they prefer to be active when it's warm and humid. They're tropical snakes.
Dr. Andrew Durso studies the snakes at Florida Gulf Coast University. He tells us there's a reason why the Python Challenge is held annually every summer. The sneaky snakes that eat everything from deer to gators typically migrate from the wilderness into more populated areas like Collier and Broward when it's hot and wet.
Nighttime temperatures over 75 degrees is probably a good rule of thumb for nocturnal python activity.
In our neck of the woods, Burmese pythons have been spotted as far north as Charlotte County. And if you come across one, it's most likely best to keep your distance and call FWC. Unless, of course, you have the experience like Kogo.
It's important that you take the time to enjoy the moment. Spend some time with a serpent before snatching it up and pulling it out of the glades. This is quality time.
No, thank you. All right, our thanks to Ryan Arbogast for that report. And finally this hour, you've heard of composing music, but what about decomposing music? Well, one PhD student is trying just that approach with a little help from a decaying piano. And as she told NBC News correspondent Jesse Kirsch, her project is about much more than just about music. It's about connection.
It might look and sound bizarre, but make no mistake, this is a piano at play.
If somebody hears this and thinks, well, that's not music, well, then what is music to you and why is this not music?
When Brown University was throwing away an old piano, PhD student Devani Haruta gave it a new home outside. For more than a year now, inspired by other work, Harut has been documenting what she calls piano decomposition in Providence, Rhode Island, from snow to sunshine, inviting anyone to wander under the trees and rethink what counts as music.
So what's the best way to play this right now?
Any way you want.
You can pluck, hammer with twigs, pull out one of the keys, or still play them. Kind of.
Kind of hurts. Oh, we kind of got it.
It's not built for harmony anymore in the same way that it was. But I think it's only frustrating if you try to play the piano in the way that you've been taught.
Whether or not it's music is almost irrelevant because it's more about the connections and the creativity that comes out of it.
An idea, even if not a sound, that could be music to your ears. Jesse Kirsch, NBC News, Providence, Rhode Island.
Wow, fascinating stuff, Jesse. Thanks. That's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now, but your news continues right now. Good morning. I'm Stephen Romo in for Joe in Savannah today. And right now on Morning News Now, a powerful Hurricane Beryl barreling across the Caribbean. This morning, it's also hammered islands like Jamaica and claimed at least 10 lives across that region. We're on the ground with some stunning scenes of devastation. And as the storm sets its sights on Mexico and even Texas for a potential weekend wallop, our Angie Lashman has the latest on its track. And if a hurricane threat wasn't enough, more than 100 million Americans are waking up on this 4th of July under heat alerts. We've got some tips on how you can keep cool if you're heading outside to celebrate today. Meanwhile, in Washington this morning, more fireworks. There are growing calls on Capitol Hill for President Biden to bow out of the race for the White House. A second House Democrat now speaking out against Mr. Biden's bid for re-election. The president, though, appears to be remaining defiant. We'll take you inside his high-stakes meeting with state governors yesterday as concerns over his mental sharpness continue. And you could call it a 4th of July beef that's keeping a familiar face out of an American tradition, the world-famous Nathan's hot dog eating contest. We'll explain what's changed coming up later this hour. But we begin this hour in Jamaica, where hundreds of people have been sheltering in place after Hurricane Beryl ravaged the island country yesterday as a Category 4 storm. Beryl is the strongest storm on record ever in the month of July and has killed several people across the Caribbean. The wind and storm surge were so strong they swept large pieces of debris into the ocean near the coastal city of Negril. Now the storm is barreling across the Gulf of Mexico, with parts of South Texas bracing for potential impacts this weekend. NBC News correspondent Sam Brock has the latest from Kingston, Jamaica, where he and his crew rode out the storm.
Good morning. People here in Kingston right now waking up to significantly less damage than might have been anticipated after Beryl was able to stay just south enough to not bring hurricane-force winds onto the island here. But it was still strong enough, as you can see, to take the roof off of this restaurant. All that plywood there was put up to try to protect the buildings. Now this morning we are hearing from Reuters, which is reporting an additional 3 deaths, including 1 in Jamaica. And this just in, the Jamaica Defense Force reporting that they are searching for a man who was swept away by floodwaters in St. Andrew Parish.
After waiting for days for its arrival, Beryl roared over Jamaica, but the Category 4 hurricane didn't land a solid punch in Kingston. Still, with winds reaching 140 miles an hour at its core, even a glancing blow was enough to stun.
Impossible. The sea has burst the bank.
This morning, the full toll of Beryl's fury on the island is still being assessed. Steady rain and a storm surge did leave streets underwater, and strong winds threatened to create mass power outages, as we saw firsthand.
Even though the wind speeds were not the 100-plus mile-an-hour gusts that we were worried about coming in here in Kingston, it was still about 60 to 70 miles an hour, strong enough to bend power poles and knock out electricity to many.
The Dominican Republic and Haiti also managed to avoid the full brunt of the storm. With Jamaica fresh in its wake, Beryl took aim at the Cayman Islands overnight, continuing its devastating rampage across the Caribbean.
We do know that communications are compromised on parts of the island, and there's a full expectation that as things come back, whether it's phone service or Wi-Fi, that we'll be learning more about potential injuries, maybe even more fatalities. Looking ahead now as well, Cameron County, Texas has already begun voluntary evacuations as the next stops on Beryl's path, Mexico and potentially the United States. In Kingston, Sam Brock, NBC News. Back to you.
All right, our thanks to Sam Brock for that report. And as we keep a close eye on Hurricane Beryl, the heat is also a concern as millions of people kick off their 4th of July celebrations. Officials are issuing new warnings with massive crowds expected at parades and fireworks shows, plus the dangerous heat baking a large part of the U.S. We'll have the forecast coming up in just a moment. But first, let's start with NBC News correspondent Emily Ikeda, who's on New York's Coney Island.
Hey there. Well, we know millions of Americans will be looking to seek refuge from the heat in parts of the country. Triple-digit temperatures at places like this, the beach. But the biggest celebrations will happen when the sun goes down and fireworks displays light up the sky across the country. Authorities say there are no credible threats. But here in New York City, they acknowledge the complicated environment in recent months, and they say they are rolling out the largest police presence ever for July 4th, looking to have a safe and spectacular holiday.
With just hours to go before fireworks light up the night skies, many Americans are waking up to a holiday heat wave. More than 100 million under heat alerts this July 4th. A stifling heat also fueling wildfires in California, thousands evacuating in Oroville, with warnings in other parts of the state ahead of the holiday. While across the country, final preparations are underway to celebrate America's independence. The FBI and Department of Homeland Security telling local police to stay vigilant during large celebrations and that the biggest threat comes from lone wolves. But according to a law enforcement source, the bulletin meant for New York was not sent out nationwide, and there are no credible terror threats for the holiday. In New York City, a 25-minute fireworks show will take place over the Hudson River for the first time since 2013. The NYPD says it will have a strong presence deployed to keep viewing areas secure.
The men and women of the NYPD will be out there.
It comes as nearly 71 million are traveling this week, according to AAA, which says expect lots of company, whether you're hitting the highways,
I hate traffic,
or flying to your vacation getaway. Though the record-setting season is not without travel headaches. A flight heading to Amsterdam Wednesday was diverted to JFK because of spoiled food served on board. Delta apologizing to its customers. Overnight in Washington, a dress rehearsal for the Capitol's July 4th celebration. Expected to bring a huge crowd to the National Mall for music and, of course, the fireworks, where a family business, now in its 4th generation, has been designing the colorful display over D.C.'s iconic landmarks for more than a decade.
It's an epic moment, and it never gets old.
And our thanks to Emily Ikeda for that report. And staying on those scorching temperatures, meteorologist Angie Lassman's here with more on the heat that we just can't beat, Angie.
We sure cannot, Stephen. And that's going to be something that we talk about through not just the weekend, but all the way into early next week. We could see a really long stretch of these uncomfortable and dangerous conditions for a good chunk of the country. We've got 130 million people under these heat alerts stretching across the west and across parts of the southeast. Those are the two spots that we're really going to watch to see these temperatures be, again, dangerous over the next few days. We've got the high heat and the high humidity across the southeast, that tropical moisture making it feel a whole lot worse than it actually is out there. We've got an actual temperature of 101 today in Dallas, but it'll feel like 109. And Baton Rouge, we're into the low 90s, but it feels like 109 as well. 113 for what it feels like in Memphis. Out west, similar story, but the actual temperatures are well above 110. We've got 10, 15, 20-degree temperatures above where we should be for this time of year, and this is how it's going to stay even as we get into the next couple of days. Not much of a change here for tomorrow. 116 expected in Phoenix, 100 in San Antonio, even Atlanta headed to the mid-90s, so running above normal for this time of year. And that stays with us into the weekend. And notice while we get back into our next work week after the holiday, 94 degrees on Monday in Nashville. We've got mid-90s for Savannah all through the weekend. Similar story for Charlotte. So temperatures feeling very summer-like for the extended period. We've also got some active tropics. We've been talking about Hurricane Beryl for days now. Still a Category 3 moving moving northwest right now at 20 miles per hour. We're expecting some impacts today to the Cayman Islands, and then we gear up for some impacts to the Yucatan Peninsula here as we wrap up our weekend, or as we wrap up our work week, rather, and head into the weekend. This is going to be something that we watch for: some additional rainfall, some strong winds, maybe some minor storm surge at the coast. And then by the time we get into the beginning of our next work week, late weekend likely, we'll be talking about another potential landfall from this system, likely around the Texas-Mexico border. That still has a lot of time to kind of come into better focus, a lot of uncertainty with exactly where the center, where the core of that system will come on shore, but we'll be watching for impacts nonetheless. Today, of course, a holiday, and we've got some severe storms that we're going to track across the Midwest. Heads up for that. This could be problematic for any outdoor plans in Cleveland, Washington. It's the afternoon thunderstorms that we'll have to watch across parts of the Northeast, and even Miami, New Orleans, and Dallas could see some of that action. Out west, the temperatures, they are stifling. I already told you that. But notice how nice it is for sky conditions. Denver heads to 82 degrees today. Plenty of sunshine out there. We'll see Seattle, 86, a little on the warm side, of course, but lots of sunshine for folks there. LA into the upper 80s, and Phoenix, 116, but full sunshine. So at least there is no rain to damper your holiday plans. That is not the case, though, if you live in Minneapolis, St. Louis, and up and down the East Coast for tonight. As we look ahead to, of course, firework time around 9 p.m., we're likely going to be seeing some of these passing showers across the Northeast. Now, this doesn't mean that it's kind of a rained-out evening situation. They're going to be working through, so you're really going to want to keep an eye on that radar and see if we can get maybe an opening for some of those fireworks to go off in that area. Otherwise, nice conditions for folks celebrating in Houston, Honolulu, Denver. We'll see quiet conditions across Salt Lake City as well. Even Billings in San Francisco, you'll be into the mid-60s, so kind of a nice, cool evening for folks there. But here in New York City, there is a chance for thunderstorms. If you're going to be watching the Macy's 4th of July fireworks on NBC starting at 8 p.m. tonight, we're again going to be looking for that window where we can see some dry conditions, Stephen. Temperatures, though, for folks that are going to be out there celebrating, 80 degrees. So not a bad forecast.
You were really looking on the bright side for Phoenix. 116, but clear skies.
Get a little personal fan.
I don't know if that works out there. We'll have to find out. All right, Angie, thanks so much.
Of course.
All right, turning now to politics. President Biden says he's staying in the race despite mounting concerns in the wake of that widely criticized debate performance a week ago. Democratic governors came out in support of the president following talks at the White House yesterday, but new polling from after the debate could spell more trouble for his campaign. NBC News senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez has more from Washington.
1 week after that disastrous debate, President Biden is facing a political crisis within his own party. Multiple sources tell NBC News that in recent conversations with aides, family members, and allies outside the White House, the president has been torn between acceptance and defiance. This morning, President Biden is not backing down, telling his staff, let me say this as clearly as I possibly can, as simply and straightforward as I can. I am running. In a new radio interview, the president again acknowledging his brutal debate performance.
I had a bad night. And the fact of the matter is that, I screwed up. I made a mistake. That's 90 minutes on stage. Look at what I've done in 3.5 years.
But NBC News has learned that privately, President Biden is torn. In some discussions, he's acknowledged that the debate aftermath may grow too large to overcome, while in others, he has been completely dismissive of the idea of dropping out of the campaign, according to 4 people familiar with the matter. The president weighing his instinct and the advice of his family to stay in against calls to step out. He can see that there is potentially no real path, a source told NBC, but he's being pushed. Still, publicly, the White House staying the course.
He's moving forward with his campaign. He is staying in the race. I just stated that the president is not dropping out.
Overnight, the president and vice president meeting with Democratic governors at the White House.
We pledged our support to him because the stakes could not be higher.
That came after a day of reaching out to top congressional leaders. A second House Democrat, Arizona's Raul Grijalva, calling on President Biden to drop out. And another Democratic congressman, Seth Moulton, saying all viable options should be on the table. At his only public event Wednesday, a Medal of Honor ceremony, the president ignoring reporters' questions.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
A New York Times Siena College poll done after the debate suggests that President Biden now trails former President Trump by 6 points among likely voters, though that's within the margin of error. Former President Trump, in a video shared on his social media site, falsely claims President Biden quit the campaign and attacks Vice President Kamala Harris with profanity.
He just quit, he's quitting the race. Is that right? Yep, I got him out of the race. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic. It's so amazing. It's just so bad.
The Biden campaign is blasting former President Trump this morning for, quote, demeaning the vice president, adding that he's hit a new rock bottom. The next few days are being viewed as critical for President Biden. Tomorrow, he travels to battleground Wisconsin for a rally and does his first lengthy TV interview after the debate. And many congressional Democrats will be watching that very closely. Back to you.
All right, Gabe, thanks so much. And now to a time-honored part of July 4th celebration that's as American as apple pie or even fireworks. We're talking about the world-famous Nathan's hot dog eating contest, of course, which is back today. Here's our own Joe Fryer to catch us up on all those details.
Good morning. Every 4th of July since 1916, competitors from around the world gather around, exchange pleasantries, and then over the course of 10 minutes proceed to gorge themselves on as many hot dogs as they can stomach. The event is a gastronomical wonder, but this year, after some controversy, eating legend and reigning champion Joey Chestnut won't be taking part, so we'll be looking to celebrate a new top dog.
This is a battle of the Titans.
It's a spectacle of gluttonous delight. Nathan's hot dog eating contest, a mainstay of Coney Island in the 4th of July since 1916. Today, 15 men and 14 women will compete to take home the $20,000 cash prize and coveted yellow mustard belt. But this year, the feeding frenzy is missing its #1 eater.
Joey Chestnut, 38 hot dogs and bun.
Affectionately known as Jaws, reigning champion, 16-time winner, and world record frank eater Joey Chestnut won't be competing. The beef? Impossible to fathom, as Chestnut's association with a plant-based wiener company was initially indigestible for event organizer Major League Eating.
But Joey endorsed a rival brand. It hit a problem with exclusivity.
The loss caused indigestion for eaters and fans alike.
This is a disgrace. This is a tragedy.
Now instead, for the 4th, Jaws is taking his jowls to Fort Bliss, Texas, saluting America by eating against 4 servicemen at the Pop Goes the Fort celebration. Chestnut is also poised to renew his rivalry with legendary eater Takeru Kobayashi in a live Netflix special on Labor Day. On this 4th, no one is expected to challenge Chestnut's record of 76, but a new king of the Frank and Bun will be crowned. Could it be the #2 eater in the world, Jeffrey Esper, who holds 19 world records for competitive eating, including eating nearly 24 pounds of strawberry shortcake? Nicholas Weary, he's the Cuban sandwich eating champion, having eaten 22 of them in 8 minutes. The excitement is palpable as nearly 2 million lovers of the Frankfurter tune in to see who will be the next to gut-bust their way to the yellow mustard belt.
So as our stomachs growl with anticipation, I'll leave you with the immortal words of legendary Greek philosopher Hippocrates, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." Back to you.
I think that's the unofficial theme of the hot dog eating contest. Joe, thanks. Well, a reminder, we are also right in the middle of summer blockbuster season. However, ticket sales so far this season have been lackluster. The big studios are hoping for a major turnout this 4th of July holiday to help save the summer. For more, let's bring in NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Melas with more on this. Hey, Chloe.
That is right. It is a summer sequel fest at the movies. Fans can get ready to see the latest installments from some of their favorite franchises. And for some, it's a family affair when it comes to movies like Inside Out 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Mega Minions.
This year's summer box office is about to go bananas as familiar franchises make their return to the big screen. Insiders dubbing this the summer of sequels, with new installments of Despicable Me, Bad Boys, and A Quiet Place.
all already making a lot of noise, despite some sneering at Hollywood's slew of flashback flicks.
I knew I did not need another Bad Boys movie.
You guys notice that there's no new movies anymore?
While the big follow-up films are easing some early nerves for the industry after a dismal start to the season.
Hello? I'm anxiety.
Early summer box office numbers from ComScore have this year behind 2023's pace. And with the Barbenheimer phenomenon ultimately propelling theaters to more than $4 billion in revenue last year, movie experts say this summer could see an estimated $600 million dip. It comes as studios are looking for creative ways to lure in audiences. Even streaming giant Netflix is hoping their immersive Netflix houses, which are set to open next year, will get subscribers off the couch.
I got this!
All pumping up the pressure for sequels to save the summer.
Is it safe to say that, like, sequels could turn the summer box office around?
Absolutely. Clearly, audiences love sequels, though they may not want to say it out loud. They actually do when we look at the numbers and see what's popular at the multiplex.
Experts say the biggest blockbusters may still be to come.
Who's next?
With Deadpool and Wolverine and Twisters set to premiere later this month. But for now, there's hope that this long holiday weekend will lead to a box office boom.
There will be fireworks at the multiplex this weekend for sure. This is just the time when people seem to want the familiar. 4th of July is going to deliver big.
And the big sequel this weekend, of course, is Despicable Me 4 from our sister company, Illumination. My kids, they loved it. It's what we've been waiting for all year. And ComScore expects that that film is going to rake in well over $100 million this weekend alone.
Wow, that's great. I know Inside Out 2 also did very well. I actually saw it. Loved it as well.
Yeah, you liked it? Okay,
yeah,
good.
So good. But if the summer doesn't really pan out, if it sort of fizzles, what is the next best hope for actually picking things up at the theaters?
So, you know, look, there are a lot of sequels still coming out this summer, but this fall, like you said, Joker 2 in October. So that's Joaquin Phoenix, Lady Gaga, everybody's talking about that. And then the big double header, the double feature of Wicked, live action with Ariana Grande. And then you also have Gladiator 2.
Another sequel.
Yep. And so those are coming out the same weekend in November. People are saying it's the next Barbenheimer with Barbie and Oppenheimer. It's going to like gross a ton of money. But yeah, so that's what people are excited for.
Okay, a lot to be excited for. I like to hear it. Chloe Blas, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks so much.
All right, much more to come this morning on Morning News Now, including more tips on how you can stay safe this 4th of July, no matter where you're celebrating, from the beach to the backyard. But after the break, Decision Day in the UK, it could be a red referendum. We're back after this. Welcome back. People in the UK are voting today in a general election that could see the Conservative Party's 14-year reign come to an end. Multiple polls suggest the Conservatives could face a wipeout, with the opposition Labour Party on course for a potential landslide win. NBC News international correspondent Raf Sanchez joins us now from London with more on this. Good morning, Raf.
Stephen, good morning. The polls have been open here for about 5 hours on this unusually sunny election day in London. We won't get exit polls until around 5 p.m. But from the voters we are speaking to, every indication is that this is a change election and that the British public is planning to vote for a new government and a new prime minister.
Thank you.
This morning, after a lightning-fast 6-week campaign, voting is underway across Britain. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, whose Conservative Party has been in power for 14 years, asking voters for another chance.
Your vote will make a difference. Lots of people want to say this is a foregone conclusion. Analysis shows that's not true.
But with prices high, economic growth low, and 4 Conservative prime ministers in a row forced to resign since the 2016 Brexit referendum that saw the UK crash out of the European Union, many voters here are in an unforgiving mood.
They want to see the Conservatives maybe get what they deserve after behaving so badly.
Polls suggest the Conservatives are facing a wipeout. And the centre-left Labour Party heading for a potentially historic landslide victory. Labour's Keir Starmer poised to become Britain's next prime minister and the leader of America's closest ally.
We've now had 14 years of chaos, of division and failure. And the choice tomorrow is to bring that to an end, to turn the page and start to rebuild with Labour.
A former prosecutor, Starmer is a political centrist whose policies and politics align with President Biden's. But next year, he may be dealing with a second-term Donald Trump, who's threatened to pull the U.S. out of NATO and cut support for Ukraine. Does Keir Starmer have what it takes to stand up to Donald Trump on the world stage?
I think Keir Starmer will stand up for what he believes in. When it comes to foreign policy, our support for NATO is the cornerstone of that.
We headed to the West London constituency of Kensington and Bayswater, home to one of the country's closest races. The Conservatives won the last election here by just 150 votes. Now, Labour candidate Joe Powell is hoping to flip the seat.
We think this is going to be very close. Whatever the national polls show, this is not a traditional Labour seat.
Do you think people are excited about voting for Labour, or they just want to punish the Conservatives at this point?
Well, I think a lot of people are very excited about voting for Labour because they're desperate for change in the country.
Some of those looking for change are turning to the populist right and the anti-immigration Reform Party led by a British ally of Donald Trump. Polls suggest Reform winning nearly a fifth of the vote, though the UK's election system means it's unlikely to win many seats in Parliament. Now, unlike the U.S., here in the UK, there's no transition period between an election and a new government taking office. So, assuming the Labour Party wins tonight, Keir Starmer will give his victory speech. He'll sleep for a couple of hours. He will head to Buckingham Palace just down the road to see the King, and then he will immediately take office as the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Stephen?
Wow, a lot to be watching for that. Raph, thank you. And more international news now. More tension in the Middle East after Israeli forces killed a top Hezbollah commander in southern Lebanon. Josh Lederman joins us now from London with more on that. Good morning, Josh.
Hey, Stephen, good morning. The IDF says that Hezbollah commander was responsible for Hezbollah's anti-tank and rocket activities within southern Lebanon heading into Israel. And Hezbollah says that they retaliated by launching about 100 Katyusha rockets into Israel, though Israel says many of those were shot down and that they caused no injuries. This latest violence, though, is really worsening fears about a full-on war between Israel and Hezbollah that the U.S. and these other nations have been desperately trying to avoid. Now let's head over to Italy, where two Americans convicted of killing an Italian police officer just had their sentences reduced. The pair had been given life sentences in 2021 for stabbing to death a police officer who was an alleged botched drug deal, but they claimed self-defense, saying they didn't know that he was a police officer at the time. An Italian appeals court cut their sentences down to about 15 years for one of the Americans and about 11 years for the other. And finally, to the upcoming Olympic Games in Paris, which is getting some new star power set to thrill K-pop fans around the world. BTS superstar Jin is set to be a torchbearer for the Olympics just after finishing his mandatory South Korean military service just last month. The 31-year-old says he hopes to use his Olympic role to spread a message of harmony and peace. A whole lot of BTS fans out there very happy he's out of the military. Stephen?
Certainly, and there's going to be a lot more eyes on the Olympics, probably for that reason alone. Our Josh Lederman, thanks so much. Well, coming up this morning, preventing tragedy. When we come back, the new effort by several states to keep guns out of kids' hands. And fireworks, a tradition for so many on the 4th of July. But before you ignite the light and let it shine, we want to make sure you're doing it safely. We'll get some tips next on Morning News Now. Welcome back. Nearly every day in the U.S., children accidentally injure or kill someone with a gun. Now, some states are trying to pass laws to keep guns out of children's hands. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa spoke with one family touched by just this type of tragedy.
Getting Sky McBride to pick a favorite stuffed animal is a tough task. She's a bubbly 3-year-old with no memory of the moment her life changed. But her maternal aunt and grandmother wish they could forget the day a relative knocked on the door saying something happened to Sky at her dad's house in Flint, Michigan.
He says Sky has been shot in the head, and I just lost my mind. I was just screaming. I was jumping up and down. I was screaming.
Sky was at the hospital in a coma.
I thought I was stuck in a nightmare.
Investigators said she'd gotten a hold of her father's revolver, left loaded and unlocked on a bed, and shot herself in the face.
He said he forgot. He was so excited to see her. You don't forget about something like that. You don't.
Like, that sounds absurd.
Yeah, it is.
Sky's tragedy doubling as a legal landmark. Her father, Michael Tolbert, is the first person charged under Michigan's safe storage law, requiring owners keep their guns unloaded and locked or stored in a locked box if they believe a child is likely to be present. The maximum penalty for failing and allowing a child to shoot themselves or someone else, 15 years in prison. Genesee County Prosecutor David Layton lobbied for the law.
I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in gun ownership, but you have to be responsible.
There were more than 400 unintentional shootings by children last year. 26 states, including Michigan, now have similar laws.
If grown-ups aren't going to be responsible gun owners and lock those guns away, then government has to step in.
Some gun rights activists argue safe storage laws violate the Second Amendment, pointing to a Supreme Court decision that established the right for people to keep guns for protection in their homes.
We certainly strongly advocate and encourage that people act in a responsible manner. But the Supreme Court has said that laws that mandate firearms be locked in, and so therefore not accessible to a person to use for self-protection, violates the Second Amendment.
So you doing your stickers?
Yeah.
As for Sky, she lost her right eye.
That's the baby, Mama.
That's the baby?
But her family says she has no apparent brain damage and is mastering walking. Her father has pleaded not guilty and hasn't responded to NBC News' interview requests. Meanwhile, since Sky's shooting, Michigan's seen at least 2 other safe storage cases, including in May when investigators say a 2-year-old boy shot himself. This time, it was fatal. David Layton has charged the boy's father and 2 other relatives.
This is preventable.
Safety first.
Yeah, it's preventable. Lock your gun up. You're the adult. Put it away.
Maggie Vespa, NBC News, Flint, Michigan.
And our thanks to Maggie for that. Meanwhile, today, people all across the country are celebrating the 4th of July with family and friends. And throughout the day, folks will be doing everything from relaxing by the pool to watching those fireworks. But it's not all fun when things go wrong, which they sometimes do. This is a holiday where a lot of people actually end up in the ER. As a matter of fact, data from the Pew Research Center shows on average emergency rooms treat more than 45,000 people between July 4th and July 5th. Joining us now for more on how we can celebrate safely this 4th of July is emergency medicine physician Dr. Samson Davis. Dr. Davis, good morning. Thanks for being here. So last year, 9,700 people ended up being treated in ERs because of fireworks injuries alone. So what are some ways people can stay safe?
Yeah, good morning. I'm afraid that we're going to see that same number again this year, unfortunately, but firework safety is of utmost importance. The first thing you want to do is handle one firework at a time. Do not light multiple fireworks at the same time. Make sure you keep children away. Make sure you're not impaired. Make sure when you're handling fireworks, you're doing away from anything that's flammable. So away from the home, obviously, away from any bush or bushes or leaves that could catch fire. And most importantly, make sure you're not impaired. And at the very last is leave it to the professionals to handle for utmost safety.
Good advice there, especially alcohol and fireworks just don't mix very well. Also, yeah. Dr. Davis, we've recently reported on some stats from the CDC that show drowning deaths have been on the rise across the U.S., really. So what are some water safety tips people should be following today, whether they're hitting the beach or just heading to a pool?
Yeah, today is a great day to be in the water and to sort of stay cool during this heat. So you want to make sure you swim together, go in groups, make sure your lifeguard is close by. Parents, especially when it comes to our children, drownings happen within seconds. So keep an eye. A lifeguard do not replace a parent or an adult supervising the child. Make sure you watch the weather report. Obviously, in the ocean, there's rip currents, and that can pull you in. So you want to make sure you understand rip current safety and guidelines. Do not swim in unsupervised areas. Sometimes it's tempting, especially for our teenagers. They see the temptation there. They may want to jump in, but unsupervised areas is important to stay away from. And again, it's the holiday. We're celebrating. adults or do not swim impaired. It's very important. Drownings happens that way, but drownings are very common across the country and occur every day. So you want to make sure you practice safety measures.
Yeah, very good advice there. And Dr. Davis, it's hard to imagine the 4th of July without that good backyard barbecue. But grills, they can also pose a bit of a danger. How can we stay safe using those?
Yeah, Stephen, I'm looking forward to lighting my grill today. I think obviously there's propane gas grills and there's charcoal wood grills. For the gas grills, you want to make sure for both grills, you want to keep away from the home. For the propane grill, you never want to ignite the grill with the lid closed. And make sure if you go to light the grill, it doesn't catch. Initially, you just want the gas to dissipate. Give it a few minutes before relighting it or trying to restart it again. Make sure you keep a bucket of water or fire extinguisher close by hand just in case flames occur that's uncontrollable. Keep children away from the grills while you're handling the grills. When it comes to charcoal grills, you want to use your lighter fluid to ignite the grill, but after it starts, you don't want to continuously use that lighter fluid because it can cause flames and burns to occur as well. And again, you want to handle these grills, making sure you're not impaired. Keep children away, as mentioned. And when it comes to the charcoal grills, I've had people come into the emergency department because once the grill is done, they dispose of charcoal in inflammable objects like boxes or bags, put it in a garage or put it wherever they keep the garbage and causes a fire. So you want to make sure you dispose of your charcoal appropriately and away from anything that's flammable.
Wow, that's a lot of important information. And I sensed a theme there, making sure you're not impaired because it is a holiday. A lot of people are going to be celebrating that way as well. Great advice there, Dr. Samson Davis. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
And speaking of fireworks, tonight, the sky over the National Mall in Washington, D.C. will be just filled with them. Mark Seagraves from our D.C. affiliate, WRC, got a behind-the-scenes tour with the man who's been in charge of that show for the past 10 years.
Let's take a look at this module. We know we're all wired up here.
At 9:09 Thursday night, Chris Santori will hit the button that starts the National Fireworks display. It will be the 11th year in a row he's had that honor.
I can tell you that standing on the edge of the reflecting pool on July 4th with the Washington Monument in the background, it's just, your hair stands up. It's just such an epic moment.
Santori promises a bigger and more colorful display this year. As for the threat of rain.
As far as rain, we're not concerned. We're currently covered in plastic. We can fire right through the plastic. It doesn't inhibit the production in any way. So we're just making sure that we find an opportunity where we're not in a thunderstorm where everyone can safely enjoy the display.
Santori's family business, Garden State Fireworks, has been creating commercial fireworks displays for 130 years. Designing and putting together a display as high profile as the national display is a year-round job. But once the mortars start firing, he's enjoying the show just like the rest of us.
It's very difficult to contain that excitement. There is definitely a moment where we're just like the crowd. We're as excited. We're cheering, we're jumping up and down, we're high-fiving, we're hugging. Maybe a few tears if I'm honest. It's definitely it's an epic moment, and it never gets old, and that's what keeps bringing us back to try and elevate it and make it more exciting every time.
While Santori is the 4th generation of his family to be in the fireworks business, the 5th generation isn't far behind. His 20-year-old daughter, Madison, is learning the family business for when it's her turn to hit the switch.
I'm thinking we might discuss that this year. What do you think?
Okay.
It's definitely a lot of pressure, but she's actually been at the firing panel. She was at the firing panel last night on a display in Vienna, Virginia, and she did an excellent job. Makes Dad and Grandpa proud that she's willing to take the torch when we pass it.
And our thanks to Mark Seagraves for that report. A spokesperson for the National Park Service says the cost of the fireworks display is about $278,000. Wow. Well, the heat is on, and this summer, many Americans stopping to celebrate the 4th of July, of course. The American Heart Association is also sending out a reminder that scorching temperatures can add stress to your heart. NBC News correspondent Alice Barr spoke to one father who's urging people to be prepared after nearly using his young daughter to sudden cardiac arrest.
This 4th of July week, when the sun is out and the grill is going, a reminder to heed your heart, because as temperatures rise, so does the risk of cardiac events.
You tend to get dehydrated, and there are other factors that are related to heat that put more stress on the body.
Past president of the American Heart Association, Dr. Gordon Tomaselli, pointing to new research that heat-related cardiovascular deaths may more than double in the coming decades with the effects of climate change.
More extremes of temperature, but also the population's aging. So the number of people at risk is increasing.
Those with pre-existing conditions have the greatest risk, but everyone should be alert and be prepared.
After you're 30, look up, take a breather.
That's especially true in schools, and the summer break offers a chance to gear up for a rare but devastating event.
When Olivia was 6 years old, she survived a cardiac arrest.
Suffering an undiagnosed genetic condition, Joe Quigley's young daughter collapsed in her school gym class.
The school had an emergency medical plan in place, so they knew what to do. They knew how to perform CPR.
But that is not always the case, so Joe teamed up with the American Heart Association to press Congress to pass legislation mandating AEDs and cardiac response plans in every school.
Schools that have AEDs, cardiac arrest survival goes up to about 70%, which is dramatic.
A precious chance at survival.
My daughter's fabulous now. She's 22 years old, a junior in college, and she's living her life.
While her family lives out a mission to arm and educate others about the issue closest to their hearts. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, coming up, transaction canceled. Some stores dialing back on those self-checkout machines and opting to go back to human employees. When we come back, more on the reversal that could signal a bigger shift away from tech. Plus, a big boom in Music City. Why more people are moving to Nashville and why some worry that's causing it to lose its charm. This is Morning News Now. Welcome back. So by now, you might have a love-hate relationship with these things, those self-checkout machines. Sometimes your produce scans, sometimes it doesn't. But despite those personal feelings, they've been retail mainstays for years now. But that could be changing. NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung has more on why several companies are now checking out on self-checkouts and bringing back that human touch.
Do it yourself. That's the idea behind self-checkout lanes. A way to skip the pleasantries and skate out of the store quickly.
Super fast, easy, convenient.
But more and more stores are now hitting cancel on those self-checkout machines.
Item canceled.
Dollar General says it has pulled self-checkout from about 12,000 stores, and Five Below hoping to eliminate self-checkout options in its highest risk locations. Both companies saying theft is the main reason, as 15% of users confess to purposely stealing at the self-checkout lane.
Entering in a cheaper type of produce when they're scanning their groceries, or just pretending to scan something and just bagging it anyway. It's one area where retailers are noticing too much that.
Then there's the user experience.
For shoppers, self-checkout is supposed to offer the convenience of just scanning and then going. But sometimes it ends up being more trouble than it's worth.
Please wait for assistance.
Definitely where I have to wait for someone to come in and fix it, and it's just a waste of time.
The solution? Bringing sales associates back.
Is more profitable for the retailer to pay employees to manage checkout than it is to support the machines where they're probably getting less than accurate checkouts from consumers.
Self-checkout isn't going away, though. It's on the rise at grocery stores, making up 44% of transactions last year.
If your store decided to take out all the self-checkout lanes and put in regular lanes,
I'd be really disappointed.
A battle of humans versus machines playing out in the checkout line. Brian Chung, NBC News, New York.
Well, the cost of living is hitting one hotspot particularly hard. Nashville, America's music capital, is more popular than ever, with the population almost doubling in the last 2 decades. The growing fear, though, is that this boomtown is pushing locals out in place of wealthier newcomers. And some say Music City is losing its charm as it capitalizes on tourism. NBC News correspondent Kathy Park has more on that.
Nashville built its foundation on music.
But these days, it's becoming harder and harder for many musicians to live there, as Music City has transformed into one of the nation's fastest growing boom towns, with a record 16.8 million visitors last year, adding nearly 90 people a day to its population. And it's not just people. Amazon, Alliance Bernstein, and soon Oracle will be calling Nashville home.
18 years ago, we had more people than we had jobs. Now we have more jobs than we have people.
Experts say companies are drawn to Tennessee's business-friendly environment, relocating from expensive and dense locations. Another perk? No state income tax for workers.
And if it wasn't for the city, we wouldn't be as successful as we are.
Brian Fuente, a singer turned entrepreneur, launched AeroBuild, a company that builds mobile businesses.
A lot of craftsmanship that goes in each one.
30% of their workforce is made up of musicians.
The production team only works 4-day work weeks, so on the weekends they're playing music.
It's a model that helps strike a balance for employees like Dustin Bothwell, a singer who struggles to keep up with the high cost of living.
Houses are bought and you get an eviction notice. You know, it's harder to live here as an artist than it used to be, I feel like. I've only been here 6 years.
According to a recent Redfin analysis and the latest home prices, a family needed to earn roughly $129,000 a year to afford the median price home worth $478,000.
It has become unaffordable.
Jalen Raymer is feeling the crunch too after moving her cowboy hats and boots business from New York City to Nashville in 2020.
You want to try it all for me?
But corporate events and tourists have helped her small shop thrive.
They're ready to go downtown and giddy up and have a great old time down in Vegas.
Some say the heartbeat of Nashville is right here in the Broadway district, seeing even more growth with the popularity of country music.
Jolene, Jolene.
It's good to see the redevelopment, but it's a little hectic.
A city soaring to new heights, but on the way up, feeling the growing pains.
A few of my favorite spots have had to disappear because of the growth. I kind of miss the charm.
Do you think city planners underestimated Nashville's growth?
I think it would be a rare person that told you they expected the growth to be like this.
Fascinating stuff. Kathy Park, thanks. And Nashville will be busy today. The city hosts one of the largest 4th of July fireworks shows in the country, with more than 200,000 spectators expected to attend. Last year, that event generated $11.6 million in visitor spending alone. Well, coming up this morning, a crash course in music decomposition. After the break, the campus art installation that has Mother Nature breathing new life into a piano well past its prime. That's next on Morning News Now. We're back now with a sticky situation down in Florida. A fish and wildlife trapper made a huge catch. You could call it the catch of a lifetime. Reporter Ryan Arbogast from our NBC affiliate in Fort Myers has the details.
You gotta let her work. As my Brazilian jiu-jitsu friends say, gotta let him work.
You are deep in the Florida Everglades in the dead of night, looking through an iPhone lens as a 17-foot, 1-inch Burmese python fights for its life.
You see how I'm switching hands? Mm-hmm. That way I don't tire myself out, letting the snake get tired.
The man giving the apex predator its first taste of what it's like to be prey is Matthew Kogo, a Florida fish and wildlife python trapper that just snagged the invasive snake over the weekend. He caught it in the Francis S. Taylor Wildlife Management Area west of Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, this is a good girl.
Experts we spoke with tell us the weather during hurricane season has a massive impact on the amount of Burmese python sightings we see here in portions of the Florida Everglades. Between constant humidity, heavy rainfall, and the summer heat, these apex predators are going to be on the move.
So they prefer to be active when it's warm and humid. They're tropical snakes.
Dr. Andrew Durso studies the snakes at Florida Gulf Coast University. He tells us there's a reason why the Python Challenge is held annually every summer. The sneaky snakes that eat everything from deer to gators typically migrate from the wilderness into more populated areas like Collier and Broward when it's hot and wet.
Nighttime temperatures over 75 degrees is probably a good rule of thumb for nocturnal python activity.
In our neck of the woods, Burmese pythons have been spotted as far north as Charlotte County. And if you come across one, it's most likely best to keep your distance and call FWC. Unless, of course, you have the experience like Kogo.
It's important that you take the time to enjoy the moment. Spend some time with a serpent before snatching it up and pulling it out of the glades. This is quality time.
No, thank you. All right, our thanks to Ryan Arbogast for that report. And finally this hour, you've heard of composing music, but what about decomposing music? Well, one PhD student is trying just that approach with a little help from a decaying piano. And as she told NBC News correspondent Jesse Kirsch, her project is about much more than just about music. It's about connection.
It might look and sound bizarre, but make no mistake, this is a piano at play.
If somebody hears this and thinks, well, that's not music, well, then what is music to you and why is this not music?
When Brown University was throwing away an old piano, PhD student Devani Haruta gave it a new home, outside. For more than a year now, inspired by other work, Haruta's been documenting what she calls piano decomposition in Providence, Rhode Island, from snow to sunshine, inviting anyone to wander under the trees and rethink what counts as music.
So what's the best way to play this right now?
Any way you want.
You can pluck, hammer with twigs, pull out one of the keys, or still play them.
Nah.
Kind of.
Kind of hurts. Oh, we kind of got it.
It's not built for harmony anymore in the same way that it was. But I think it's only frustrating if you try to play the piano in the way that you've been taught.
Whether or not it's music is almost irrelevant because it's more about the connections and the creativity that comes out of it.
An idea, even if not a sound, that could be music to your ears. Jesse Kirsch, NBC News, Providence, Rhode Island.
Wow, fascinating stuff, Jesse. Thanks. That's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now, but your news continues right now.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.